Hey everybody, this video is to talk about the importance of thinking about the scale of your plaid as you're designing it. Let me just look at some actual plaid fabric here. This is really beautiful cotton plaid. And we need to think about when you design your plaid, you're going to be rendering a 3.5 by 3.5 section of the plaid, or if you have a plaid that has a really big scale, like a buffalo check or a big window pane plaid, you may want to do a bigger size rendering so we can see the full repeat. Hopefully that makes sense. The repeat is where the pattern begins again, but minimum 3.5 by 3.5. And what we want to do is show your plaid in multiple colorways. I thought, did I have in here? Let me see. Yes. Okay, are these? Hang on. Yes, they are. Okay, so this is great. So I've got these ones. Oh, I've got other ones too. Fantastic. Guys, look at what I've got. I have so much stuff everywhere. So these are the same plaid in multiple colorways. And what I want everybody to notice is that if I put this blue and green one next to the brown one, you can see the stripes size and pattern is identical. The only thing that changes is the colors. Okay, and if I put it this way, you can see that going, oops, it should, hang on, I gotta find it. Oop, hang on, it's this way. Okay, so if I go this way, there it is. You can see, okay, that these are the same plaid, but rendered in different colorways, okay? And when I say the same plaid, what I mean is the repeat and the pattern and the order of the stripes is identical, vertical and horizontal. It's just that they changed the colors. You can see I've got it lined up now, and then I can do it the other way too. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna create your own plaid. There it is. Where is it? There it is. Okay, so you're gonna create your own plaid. We're gonna play around, we're gonna have some fun, and once you find one that you like, you're gonna do it a second time, keeping the size of the lines and the order of the lines identical, just switching out the colors, okay? Now, let me talk about scale, because that's something really important to think about. This is one of these days I'm going to finish his little jacket situation here. I don't know, I never seem to get to it. So let's say this is the plaid you render. Okay, you're going to draw it like this. What you have drawn is the real life size. If I had this as a fabric, it would be exactly this. Okay, when you do your illustration, this plaid gets scaled down. It looks like it's on his clothes, okay, farther away, so that this plaid looks a lot smaller. So if you design something that's quite complicated, I think that's great, but just know that figuring out how to render it on an illustration might take a little playing around and experimenting. I have a bunch of other examples here I want to just pull out and show you guys. But I think the gist of it is when you look at this little version, I didn't have to put every single detail in here because you wouldn't really see it. If I saw this plaid on a kid's outfit, I wouldn't maybe notice the little white stripes and the darker outlines of the blue bars. You could put a suggestion of it, but really we're just trying to give the vibe of it, give the gist of it. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to show you a couple of other examples. This was just a quick one where I'm like, okay, maybe there's a plaid that looks like this, and what would that look like if I had to put it on a skirt? Make sure I'm in the frame here so you guys can see this. Okay, okay, and now I'm just going to show you guys some past as I was pulling all my plaid examples to talk to you guys about, I was coming across some old demos of kid illustrations. I am so excited. We're finally getting into the colors in this class, and we're going to learn to render using our markers and our colored pencils. But here you can see some denim. This was a sweater knit. These are all based on like demos I did for either for fun or just to help students who weren't sure how to draw what they were trying to draw. This one I really like because this is kind of the before, and then I drew him again, but I added the colored pencil details. So you can really see how it goes from unfinished, which a lot of students get to this point and they're just like, okay, I think I'm done. I'm afraid to mess it up. But how if you take a second and add some colored pencil, how much more fun you can have. And I 1000% used a reference photo here because I don't have this kid in my imagination. He definitely came from a reference photo. But I also really like this because here you can see the plaid in real life, And then here was my version of the plaid scaled down to fit on his little outfit. You can see there's denim. We're going to learn how to do all of this. I will demo how to draw fur. I'll demo how to draw denim, kids' faces, kids' hair, all of that stuff. Okay. I'm actually going to make I think I'll make an assignment that will be worth 0 points where you guys can submit photos of hairstyles or, you know, whatever you want. I need to get some ideas for what to demo when we start doing kids. So let me know that, and I'll do that in the form of an assignment that you can just submit your images into. Here's another plaid, and this little guy, to figure out how to get this plaid the way that it felt right, I wish I had the original swatch in full scale. I don't. But what you'll see is next to a lot of my illustrations, there's just a lot of experiments where I'm just like, okay, do we put the rows of dots? Do we draw light, quick lines? Like, what do we do? And I'll usually do a couple until I get it. And once I figure it out, then I can put it on the garment. Okay, so just know that these illustrations, they don't just happen out of nowhere. There's a lot of testing that happens before we do it. Even with, you can see hair color, skin color, garment colors, shadow colors. That all gets tested, and I'm excited because this is, for me, this is the really fun part of the class, and we're going to get to that very soon. Here again, look at how many tries it took me before I figured out how to render that plaid in a scale that I thought was appropriate. Here's another little girl with tests before going for the final one. And I've got others. I'm going to just show you guys so that please do not get nervous. Just get excited because we're going to learn to do this and it's super fun. We'll do some ones to practice. She's unfinished too. So many of these I don't get a chance to finish during class, and then I just set them aside hoping that I'll get back to it one day. Some little leggings. Now this one, the reason I saved this one, let me zoom in on it. I've got the plaid drawn here. You can see I tried a few things and then I went for it. Now notice this leg is complete. This leg is not complete. Even over the plaid, I did some shading. Okay, the shadows are really, really key to making everything look like it's three-dimensional. Here's a little puffer with a little fur top. And then I always enjoy this little one with a gingham. I don't know how well it's reading on the camera, but trying to figure out how to do a pink gingham without going crazy drawing every single line. So anyway, that's what we kind of have to look forward to as we go into this next week. Do keep in mind the scale of your plaid as you're rendering your plaid. And the next video will talk to you about how to render those plaids by hand. Okay, hope that was helpful. Talk to you all soon.